Hello and welcome to Today in Science News 24/7. Today's topic insight. Charlotte Keynes and colleagues' new understanding into disease transmission in great apes and how social systems may affect this. Humans are changing the world we live in daily. Deforestation is one of our most devastating processes, altering many habitats around the world, limiting environments able for animals to live in. However, we can also act as a vessel carrying diseases which can be spread from us to animals. These are called zoonotic diseases. These are diseases such as influenza, Ebola, TB, and measles. Increase in areas such as ecotourism can increase the probability of wild animals catching these diseases. These innocent tourists may accidentally pass on diseases, creating entire epidemics. In this particular paper, they study whether the social life of an animal can affect the rate of infection within their population. Firstly, chimpanzees are a highly social animal, having a large social life, tending to live in groups of 15 to 150. Secondly, orangutans, on the other hand, prefer to live alone in large territories, rarely coming into contact with others. They tested and observed 46 Indonesian orangutans and 55 Ugandan chimpanzees, watching their behavior and interaction with others. Using this data, they created disease simulation models, allocating each individual into 1. Susceptible individuals, 2. One allocated infected individual starting point, 3. Recovered individuals. They were compared between two network models, 1. Mean field network, where all individuals within the population had equal interaction between individuals within the group in question. 2. And an association network, where the interaction between each individual is dependent on the social network or group. There were 3 factors within this test which were changed. 1. The infectiousness of disease, i.e., how long will the disease be infectious for? Or, how is the disease spread? Is it oral, STD, parasite, or simply touch? 2. The level of association between individuals, i.e., how much individuals interact and who they interact with. 3. The recovery time, i.e., how long will the individual take to recover? So, for example, an individual would become infected theoretically. This would therefore increase the susceptibility of those surrounding, increase the spread of infection. The infected would only then recover from the parameters of the disease selected were reached. The simulation would stop when no infected individuals were left in the population. Using all this, they found that orangutans were barely vulnerable to disease transmissions. No matter how the factors within the test were changed, on average only 5 orangutans would become infected within the population. In chimpanzees, on the other hand, only a low disease transmission was needed to reach up to 73% of the population. This showed that as chimps are social animals, they are very susceptible to contagious diseases. As these diseases were usually zoonotic, such as measles, this can have catastrophic effects, leading to a high mortality rate. This has shown us that the density of social groups greatly affect the disease transmission rate. This is extremely important information for conservationists creating or currently running rehabilitation centres. This information is also hugely important when organising ecotourism in endangered areas. As mentioned in the BBC documentary, Apes in Danger, experiments like this has led to new rules and dynamics involved in ecotourism. For example, in this documented situation, tourists had to be 33 metres away from the chimpanzees they were viewing. Information into social groups can also help when allocating vaccinations to specific groups members of endangered primates. This process was suggested for chimpanzees during the Ebola outbreak, as it greatly affected the species. Experiments like this example is majorly needed to keep the diversity and abundance of the multiple primate species we have today, stopping the reduction of breeding stocks and halting the changes to the supported ecosystems. Thank you for tuning in for today's Science News 24/7. This has been Chloe Downey reporting. Back to the studio.